Hi there guys and welcome to Dinos Vault once again. Today I'm checking out the TVS Apache RTR, the True Blue Racer variant. And for those who aren't aware, RTR stands for Racing Throttle Response. Now despite being around for nearly a decade and having had a few cosmetic upgrades in between, the scenario here in the 160cc segment has changed drastically with the likes of Yamaha and Suzuki storming the Indian motorcycle market. Despite the odds against it, the RTR 160 sporting our national flag refuses to give up and continues to weave its magic among the youth here because as per some online sources there has been a sudden surge in sales of the RTR series this year. As a result, TVS are offering us a matte blue racing color theme for both the 160cc and 180cc variants. And well, has anything changed or is it just a mere paint scheme upgrade? Let's find out. Coming to the design, ever since the RTR series received a major design overhaul in 2012, there has been a lot of debate on whether it looks as good as the older design. As a result, we still see the older model being sold alongside the new one. I have owned the older model and I know it is an immortal and well ahead of its time design that looks good even to this day despite being around for nearly a decade. This model that we see now is a facelifted one that was launched in 2012. Back then it didn't appeal to me all that much, but over a period of time I have felt that this is a design that slowly grows on you. This design has not only been adopted to make it look different, but there has been a lot of smart engineering that has gone into making this design concept. Up front, I absolutely love the LED DRLs. I mean, who doesn't? It gives the bike an animalistic feel. They are turned on ignition and look absolutely menacing. The DRLs not only look great but come in handy during foggy and rainy conditions by offering better visibility to the oncoming traffic. The front visor, headlamp and headlamp housing look great as well. From up front, it sure does look like a predator that is ready to pounce on its prey. Coming to the profile, the huge tank shrouds do look a bit odd, but they are there for a purpose. They are supposed to reduce the engine heat by 10 degrees, which is great. The side panels are leaner and sleeker. The rear panels are sharper to aid in the overall aerodynamics of the bike. The engine cowl too is sharp and edgy and carries the animalistic feel. At the rear we get the chunky split grab rails and twin triangle prism on lens tail lamp setup that look powerful and gorgeous. The instrument cluster looks great with the carbon fiber type finish and blue backlit display. We get a countdown as we turn on the ignition to get our adrenaline pumping. We get a part digital and part analog display. We get an analog tachometer, and the digital display carries the speedometer, the odometer, the trip meter, the fuel gauge and a clock. The switchgear is of good quality and we do get a high beam flasher and an engine kill switch. I personally like the aluminum clutch and brake levers on the Apache. The exhaust note is another USP of this bike. The bike roars like a monster that is ready to be unleashed. So let's just sit back and take a listen to it right now. Coming to the engine specs, there is absolutely no change on paper. We still get the same old 4-stroke single-cylinder 159.7cc engine that puts out a maximum power of 15.2 bhp at 8,500 rpm and 13.1 newton meters of torque at 4,000 rpm. This comes mated to a 5-speed gearbox that has shorter gear ratios. And the more important point most of us miss out is the fact that this bike has the highest power to weight ratio in its segment of 111.76 bhp per ton. This means it literally flies off the mark. Now coming to my observations as a former RTR owner, on paper it is the same bike with same specs and power figures, but the feel has changed drastically. The one thing all RTR owners constantly complain about are the vibrations. They did try to reduce it a wee bit with the facelift version launched in 2012. Now they seem to have reduced it further. The vibrations, though still there, are quite minimal when you are in the top gear and find yourself in the mid-range. This bike is completely a rev-happy motorcycle. The more you rev it, the more it feels at ease. It is a monster that has no limits. Another thing I noticed is that the throttle feels delightful and a lot more crisp. The clutch feels is also lighter. And with shorter gear ratios, lighter clutch and brilliant throttle response, it allows you to make lightning fast gear changes, and within a matter of seconds you would have gone past 60 and would be literally blasting across the city streets. The shorter wheelbase of just 1300mm offers great flickability and maneuverability. The foot pegs are rear set to give you an aggressive seating posture. Shorter handle is not low slung so that you can adjust your seating posture as per your riding style. The seat is nice and soft and comfortable. Talking about the brakes, we get a 270 pedal disc up front and a 200 pedal disc at the rear as an option. RTR 160 was the first bike to offer roto pedal disc brakes, which offer better heat dissipation, and the brakes on this bike offer good bite and great feedback. Talking about the suspension setup, we get a telescopic suspension up front and monotube inverted gas filled shock absorbers at the rear. The suspension is on the stiffer side to offer superior performance. Talking about the tires, we get 17-inch wheels with tubeless tires with a 90 by 90 front tire and 110 by 80 rear tire. Ground clearance is 165 fuel tank capacity is 16 liters, and mileage, talking about mileage claim, as a former RTR owner, I was getting around 45 kmpl. Please go through my knowledge base section found on the homepage menu of my website for tips on extracting best mileage from your vehicle. Price ex-showroom Hyderabad is rupees 73,189. So that's pretty much it. I just hope you found this video useful. Until next time, this is Dino saying ciao. Take care, God bless, and ride safe.